Previously, on If You Had To, though...
I've been a bad egg. I don't know what you could be possibly referring to.
You wolf whistled at a gangster sister. You stole Mr. Winters' newspaper. You left poor Legs McBooty to drown.
I mean, again, isn't that just what you do with pets at Christmas? I've flushed many dogs down the toilet.
No, that's what you do. You and your neglectfulness of animals.
Here, I throw a frozen turkey at the orphan boy's head. I think we really should move out of Orphan City, Kyle.
On the table is the little rabbit, obviously, but now he's wearing a waist jacket and has a monocle and a timepiece. So the rabbit says, "Ha ha, I've tricked you, my friend."
But now, to prove this arrogant little rabbit a lesson, so I can ride the rabbit like a horse into battle with my little fishing rod, shouting charge at the orphans.
You start whipping this poor Cornelius Whiskers whilst jumping on his back, and he rides you off through the little door and back into Basingstoke. Now, I can't hide it anymore. Original Nathan has gone rogue. He's run off and slaughtered a bunch of orphans in his hometown, and he's currently being held in a maximum security prison.
And the adventures continue!
We set the scene. We have a choice. We must decide on the correct answer. I'm Kyle.
And I am Nathan, returning from the void.
And this is If You Had To, though. Now, I need to start the show by saying that Nathan is calling from an untraceable phone in an undetectable location somewhere in the world. And we can't say where because he's currently on the run.
That is correct. I was trying to imagine if I was doing one of those things where my voice is disguised, but then I realised you said who I was. That makes no sense.
Well, yeah,
if I sounded like Darth Vader, that would be of no point whatsoever.
Yeah, I could have just said, oh yeah, I've got a new guest on the show this week. Nathan is definitely not here.
Yes, I am calling from a secret, undisclosed location.
Yep.
And no one could possibly ever find.
Are you sitting outside? You're just calling from the payphone across the road.
I mean, you say calling, I am just yelling at you through the window. You just look behind you, there's a tree, I'm hanging outside.
You're just
I am disguised as Mrs. Doubtfire.
You basically just have one of those newspapers with two eye holes cut in it, and you're just staring through it at me. It's the middle of the night.
I'm wearing sunglasses and what do you call them, trilby hats?
No, you're wearing one of those hats with like all the fruit in it. It's very inconspicuous.
I don't know what those hats are called. Mumbo hats? I don't think they're called fruit hats. I'm sure they're not called mumbo hats either. That's probably a racist stereotype. There's definitely an actual proper name for them. But yes, wherever I am, sitting...
wherever you are.
Sitting innocuously in my trench coat with my fruit hat, my newspaper, and my bunny slippers.
Yeah, and your bright green tracksuit.
Underneath the trench coat, you can't even see the bright green. It's pointless.
Oh, and you've got to be wearing a fake moustache as well.
I mean, I've always wanted a fake moustache mainly because I can't grow a proper one. I've got a fake moustache styled after Mr. Winters.
The famous Mr. Winters. Everyone's favourite next door neighbour.
So again, just to narrow down the innocuous way that I look, that to blend my amazing spy skills where I look like everyone else. I have a ridiculous moustache, a bright green tracksuit,
yep,
underneath a trench coat with a fruit hat.
Yep, and you've got those flashing trainers that light up.
Are they roller skates as well?
Yeah, they're Heelys.
Ah,
brilliant,
fantastic. See, I need the roller skates in case the man finds me, so I can skate away to freedom.
So, for anyone who's new to it, the premise of this show is that we create scenarios for each other, resulting in two possible outcomes. We'll discuss each outcome's pros and cons and decide definitively on the correct answer.
Yes, we will come to the truth.
Yeah.
That is our mission in life. We have devoted our lives to truth and
honesty
science and correctness.
and goodwill to all men, not orphans.
Amen. Not orphans. They're not. They don't count. Or puppies. Or Santa Clauses.
It's fine. He can regenerate. You can kill him as many times as you want.
I mean, Santa Claus was a Time Lord.
No, it's with everyone you kill, he divides and becomes 2 more.
I know you hate YouTube, but you sure you don't want to put out YouTube videos of crazy conspiracy theories? Santa Claus is a Time Lord. Jesus was a Terminator.
But today's episode is going to be slightly different. Because Nathan's been away, we're going to be jumping backwards in time for this next part. Are you ready to jump back in time, Nathan?
I'm ready. I've got my DeLorean, my flux capacitor.
Yep.
And what else do you need for time travel? A banana.
Yes, in a microwave. So
I got the banana off my hat. That's the thing about having a fruit hat. You've got plenty of food.
Exactly. You never go hungry. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a tale, Nathan.
Wait a minute. We need the proper time travel music.
Imagine, if you can, the futuristic, dystopian city of Basingstoke, filled with hatred and greed. Wind, sleet and snow howling through the polluted city streets. Not a tree or potted plant in sight. Posters for various missing puppies are plastered on every lamppost and street wall. Mobsters stand in alleyways making shady deals with tattoo artists and kangaroo wranglers. The world has turned evil, and it's only gotten worse since the new Prime Minister, Dennis ironically, was instated just 3 days ago. On top of a hill, riding a beaten down looking rabbit in a waistcoat, sits Nathan. He's left a trail of dead bodies in his wake, having gone to war this very night. Not a single orphan was spared. Suddenly, the police arrive, sirens blaring. Cornelius Whiskers looks around at you and shakes his head. "You've really gone and done it now, my friend." And he bucks you off and starts rushing away to safety. The police suddenly swarm around you and you're trapped, caught red-handed. Literally, there's blood all over your hands, face, body, everywhere. You try to break free, but there are too many. You're whacked around the head and you pass out. When you awaken, you realise that you're in a prison cell in a maximum security prison. Nathan, my singular and slightly open-ended question for you. If you had to, how do you escape this maximum security prison?
I mean, first of all, That was immaculate storytelling.
Thank you.
I say storytelling. This is all factual. That was immaculate news reporting, I should say.
I had to use my scientific technology to look back in time to see that all, to read it back to the audience.
Yes, the scientific technology of a mirror attached to a telescope, attached to a trampoline. That's how you look backwards in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it bounces the image backwards to your brain.
Exactly. And
science.
Number 1 fact for this episode.
If you want to look backwards in time, bounce a telescope into your eye.
Exactly. So Nathan, you are in prison. A maximum security prison, and
I'm shackled, chained, welded to the wall.
Pretty much. There's security guards walking past your cell. Probably like every 30 seconds, a guard walks past.
Those red laser beams surrounding me. Motion beams.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what they're called.
Motion sensors.
More than likely. I don't need to know what they're called, not to my cunning escape plan.
And obviously, there's a big moat around the prison as well.
Filled with alligators.
Filled with alligators, sharks, piranhas, skeletons.
Did you say skeletons?
Skeletons that come alive when you walk it. If you fall into the water, the skeletons come alive, like Ray Harryhausen style, and have like these big swords that they try and attack you with. So it's pretty well protected.
Wow, that is some amazing technology our government has for imprisoning people.
Yeah, well, it is. You did do the biggest crime ever.
Am I in a British jail, or have I Is this like a United Nations prison? Unwanted by the world.
Yeah, this is probably like a collective prison where they put the meanest supervillains in the world.
So I am chained and shackled. I'm basically completely immobilized. The only part of me that can move is my head.
Yeah, you're basically in one of those things that they put Hannibal in.
Yes, that was exactly what I was imagining. Your question was, how do I escape?
How do you escape? Well, I mean, how did you escape? Because you're talking to me now.
Of course, because I'm now talking to you from a secret location that's definitely not Basingstoke. And I'm in a secret disguise that isn't the most obvious disguise that anyone ever. If you just Google weird-looking guy in Basingstoke, I definitely won't turn up.
Your every Google image. Like, not just in what you're wearing now, just over the years.
Yeah, basically. My entire time living here, there's picture after picture of me with an eyebrow cocked up, my eye sticking out.
Stealing newspapers from next door neighbours.
Walking away with a sack filled with puppies, looking suspicious.
Looking shifty. Looking like a skinny Santa Claus with a big black sack.
I mean, not so skinny anymore, but thank you. How did I escape? I mean, that is a story. That really is.
Yeah, one that I'm sure the viewers want to hear in great detail. I mean, first of all, how would you get out of your binds that you're in?
Well, there are two options,
mm-hmm.
as befitting, and I need you to... In fact, yeah, we're twisting it around. Two options, and I'll let you decide which one you think is the most likely.
And then you can tell me if I was correct or not. And because I'm never wrong, I guess I will be. So
naturally. I will tell you if you're correct, and obviously you will be correct because you are the magnificent Kyle, genius of all geniuses, or genius eyes.
Exactly. I just need a sound effect of like a halo. Oh, just like some choir boys or something.
Yeah, but it's a pity we've killed all the orphans. They could have been our choir quartet. That's the one downside of killing children.
So you can't use them to make a choir sound when you want to make a point.
Only
when you want
downside.
To sound angelic. Okay,
exactly.
So what are these two options?
Okay, let me just remember.
Yep.
Option one is I obviously have contacts on the inside.
Ah.
And I had my friend in the guard department. I had them smuggle in a piece of straw.
Okay.
That they snuck into my mouth when no one else was looking.
Mm.
And when the security is at its lowest, when the motion sensors are sweeped up, when the guards are all facing in the right angles that no one can see me, when the moon is in retrograde and Mercury is at partial illumination, when all the things in the universe are just right, that is when I strike. And I take the straw out of my mouth, wrap it around my tongue, put it into my teeth, then put the straw into the lock mechanism of my chains, and then using my amazing lock-picking technology. my amazing lock
is that what you call your tongue?
I mean, we haven't mentioned it up to this point. I do have a cybernetic tongue.
Yeah, that is something that hardcore fans know about you.
The most advanced tongue known to man. Okay, this is sounding more and more like a weird chat-up line. Hey, baby, I've got the most advanced tongue known to man.
So, lock-picking with a piece of straw that someone snuck in for you is option number one. What was option number two?
Well, I haven't finished the escape, because that's only part of the escape, Carl.
I was just wondering how you would get out of your binds. I thought you had two options for that.
We'll split it up in that way. Okay. That's the easiest. Okay, so that's option number one of how I get out of the binds. Yep. Option number two of how I get out of the binds. Again, I just need to remember what it is I did or did not do. I just need a few moments to remember.
I mean, we do so many things in this.
I know, it's hard to remember. We live such eventful lives.
Exactly.
So option number two of how I got out of my chains was I wiggled out of them.
You just did a dance.
Yep.
You just did the caterpillar.
My dance moves are so electric, so hot. The chains melted off of me. Just wiggled my butt.
Can I present you with a third option?
Okay. I mean, not that I need one, but
not
go
that you
ahead
need
if
one.
You feel like it.
So what you could have done is pretend that you were choking. You're covered in all these chains, your binds and everything. Your face is covered. It's fairly likely that you could choke. So you start spluttering, crying out, "Someone, please help me!" "Oh, I'm dying!" Oh,
Obviously, with much better acting skills than that.
exactly. That was just.
Excuse me.
I think I may be dying.
Hey, Chance, I fear the grip of death upon me. Lark, the time has come.
So the guards come one of the guards comes rushing in to try and save your life. He knows the Heimlich maneuver. He wants to come in and save you. Luckily, you're a smart guy. You headbutt him in the face, knock him out instantly, use your little toe to flick up the keys from his belt into your teeth.
Well, I was going to say, to do the Heimlich maneuver, wouldn't they have to take me out of the chains anyway? Couldn't I have just waited for him to unchain me and then headbutted him?
See, that's why you're the smart one, Nathan.
Exactly. That's why you would never have escaped, Kyle.
No.
That's what I did.
I would probably have gotten as far as headbutting the guard.
And then you've got an unconscious guard and keys that you can't quite reach with your toes.
Yeah, because your toes are quite...
The 19 other guards pointing guns at you. As I was saying, Kyle, and you keep interrupting me
when
I was telling you what happened. How dare you? As I was saying as what happened,
you were definitely
I'm remembering
saying.
It. Yeah, I was definitely saying.
It's coming back to you now.
Yes, I pretended to choke.
Yeah.
And convincing them with my amazing performance. That would have won Oscars if it wasn't a man in prison choking. I don't think they give out Oscars for that. They haven't really quite reached that level yet of performances. Or the same reason why they don't give out awards for man lying to his wife about where he was all evening.
Oh, they would be terrible awards. Because they were like, "Oh yeah, you were really good at cheating on your wife."
Well done, you.
Well done, and we've got your wife in the audience. Oh shit!
But yeah, I didn't win an Oscar. The Philistines, but it would have won an Oscar if it was worthy of winning an Oscar.
Yeah. So the guy comes in.
That sentence adds up. So they see me choking. They're terrified.
Yep. They can't lose a prisoner.
Exactly. Not another one. They unchain me, take off the shackles, take off the gags around my head.
Yep.
They, for some reason, turn off the motion sensors because the guard needed to move around near them.
Yes.
Exactly. It all adds up. And then I didn't headbutt him, Carl. I did the patented Captain Kirk karate chop in the neck.
Of course.
Which, as everyone knows, knocks a man out instantly.
Cold.
So he's knocked out, and then somehow I escaped the other guards, which I definitely remember how I did.
So what you've done so far is the door is wide open, so you've basically broken out of your chains and you've got a cell that is now open.
Yes. So these are the two options so far. We're splitting it up into parts.
Yeah.
I either escaped with a piece of straw that I used as a lockpick, which I smuggled into me by my contact, or I used my acting skills to convince them to unchain me, and then I karate chopped the guard.
Now, I would say that it would be better to do that, to use your acting skills, because that way you've got the door wide open for you.
And there's no one else involved that I then have to later sort out.
But I suppose if you're using your piece of straw to take off your binds, you could use it to open the cell door. And then you haven't got an unconscious guard to dispose of or to hide. But actually, if you've got the unconscious guard, you tuck him up into your bed. They think it's you.
Yes, that is what happened, Carl.
Oh, I guessed it right.
I had an unconscious guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your guesswork was amazing, Carl. How you guessed what I did. How you guessed my amazing, brilliant, intelligent plan was brilliant, Carl. You're almost as intelligent as I am.
Almost.
And that's high praise.
Mm.
So I karate chopped the guard. He was unconscious. I put him into my chains.
Yeah.
Ripped off some of my hair.
Yep.
Stuck it onto his head with my sweat is like glue. So I stuck the hair onto his face, and it looked exactly like me.
Yeah.
And I then looked like the guard.
Aha!
Even though I had random random gaps where my hair should be. I ripped it out of my own. We didn't mention this guard had giant gaps where his hair should be. And so, yes, I obviously changed clothes with him as well. I should do that before I put him in the chains. That would make much more sense.
Yeah. So you now look...
I chained him up, then realised I needed his clothes. So unchained him, swapped clothes, then put him into the chains.
So now you look like a guard.
He looks like me, chained up.
Yeah, and you have his keys.
Exactly.
Only problem is... brilliant plan, but...
Thank you.
The other guards, this guard who you have put in your bed, that was Diego.
I mean, it's chains, not a bed.
Yeah.
We established I was chained up. It's a maximum security penitentiary. I'm not being tucked in and read bedtime stories by the guards. I don't know what prisons you've been to, Kyle.
This guard was Diego, everyone's favourite guy, and so they know him really well. They know what he looks like, they know who he is. They know you, obviously, as the orphan-killing monster.
Yes.
So, the problem here is, it's fair enough if...
El Mifano, they call me.
That's what you spray paint on the walls.
That's the wanted posters they put up in Mexico.
El Nefano. So you're fine to walk around this prison as long as no one gets a close-up look at your face.
Yes. I have to always talk to people from the side, or always have my hand strategically placed.
Yeah, so you now have this policeman's outfit, and you have the door open to you. Where do you go from there?
Well, again, we're back to the two options, because I want you to guess the ultimate option.
Okay, yep.
So we've now got to the point where I'm out of the chains, and there is an open door open to me. So both scenarios, I've managed to escape the chains, but through two different ways. In one way, I am disguised as a guard.
Yes.
In the other, I am not, so I still have to get past the guards.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to the straw one.
Yes.
I have escaped the chains,
yep,
and I throw a penny into the corridor, and all the guards run towards the penny.
Okay.
And then I run past them.
Okay.
That is the master plan in that scenario.
Okay.
Then we go back to I karate chop the guard and change clothes with him. What happened there is I say to one of the other guards, "Need to go to the toilet, mate." But I obviously say to him with my face to the side.
You're sort of looking down at your shoes and
exactly.
jogging on the spot. I'm desperate to go to the toilet, mate.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, and everyone knows when you see a man that desperately needs to go to the toilet, you don't even bother to look at his face. You just go, "Oh my God, go! Run, man!" Go. And they let me go. And then I don't know where the toilets are, because they haven't let me go. I've just had to wet myself in the chains the last month.
Exactly.
And let's not speak about the other part of that. So I'm now walking up and down the corridor, trying to find the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I do get stopped by someone else patrolling the halls. A good friend of Diego's, Manuel.
Aha.
And Manuel asked me, "Hey Diego, how are you doing?"
So now you've basically got to either bluff your way to pretend that you are Diego.
Well, actually, he doesn't just say "how are you doing." He says, "How are the kids?"
Oh.
I know. And then I have to bluff.
Are you still looking down at your shoes at this point? He hasn't seen your face.
I am still looking down at my shoes at this point.
Okay.
But I think the best way to get out of this conversation, the best bluff, is to say to him, "Oh, they died," and then go to the toilet.
So let's role play this then. So, "Hey Diego, is that you?" Looking down at your shoes there.
Hey you, how you doing?
It's me, Manuel, your best friend.
Oh, hey Manuel.
Yeah, how are the kids doing?
The kids that I have, the kids that I produced.
Little Becky and Sally, how are they?
Oh, Becky and Sally are the precious little tykes. Well, they both died.
Oh my God, they both died. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And he puts both hands on both of your shoulders, and he's
Which is a backfire, really, because I actually wanted him to back away. I wanted him to be so shocked. I wanted to be so shocked that he turned away from me, but instead he's doubling down on the human contact.
Yeah.
So this plan hasn't really worked out as I planned.
No, he really wants to console you. He's like, "Diego, I'm so sorry," and he is staring at your helmet that you're wearing. And you're just still looking at your shoes at this point, or are you going to look up? Or
I was going to say from the we're talking over Skype right now, and I can see my photo. When I looked down to play act this, I could say that I just defeated him with the glare from my bald head. Just blinded him with the shininess of my head.
If only you weren't wearing a helmet.
Yeah, I know. That's, again, the only flaw in this plan. My brilliant plan to bluff my dead children. It's the easiest solution, I thought, but no.
Yeah.
For some reason, when I told this man that I had dead children, instead of walking away from me as I thought he would, as everyone would in that situation, he tried to console me like a weirdo.
Yeah, he had some sort of compassion for you.
I know, it's so weird.
For another person. He's still staring daggers at you, like.
Oh yeah, there's been a good 30, 40 seconds of silence at this point. His hands on my shoulders, staring at me, asking me, "Oh my God, what happened?" But I'm going, they were killed by a meteorite.
A meteorite? Where? I need to know more. This is incredible. This is horrible. How did this even? Where did this meteorite come from? And he's still staring at you. He's waiting for you to lift your face.
Now I have an answer. So he asks, "Where did this meteorite come from?" And I go, "Well, Manuel." I was almost going to call him Miguel. Well, Manuel, if you look out the window and look to the stars, you'll see the in the night sky in the right corner is the Aurora constellation. It was from there that the meteorite came from. And so he looks out the window.
Yeah, Manuel turns his head. And he's like, the Aurora constellation? And he starts looking up.
That sounds like a made-up thing that someone that doesn't know anything about stars would say.
And he's staring out of this window at the beautiful night sky. Is this when you make your exit? Is this when you slip away? Or are you sticking around?
No, I definitely. It would be really stupid of me to distract him and then not take advantage of the distraction. This is when I used my, again, patented karate chop technique and knock him out in one fell blow. One fell swoop, that was the term. I was like, one fell swoon? One fell swan? Yeah. I knocked him out with a swan. I was carrying a swan in my pocket. No, that would be silly,
That
Kyle.
would be ridiculous.
Why would you even say something so stupid, Carl, you idiot? So, yes.
This
I've
nice
knocked out
guy,
2 guards.
this guy, you've knocked out 2 guards. This guy who was showing nothing but compassion for your poor dead children, and you've knocked this guy out. So poor Manuel's out, Diego's knocked out, but you're still posing as Diego, or are you going to switch clothes with Manuel?
I know. No, Diego's still... There's no need to do that. They're both prison guards' outfits. My outfit is fine. It's just people recognizing me is the problem. So I now have Manuel knocked out. I put him into a cupboard nearby.
Okay, Hitman style.
Unfortunately, there's a janitor in there, so I have to knock him out as well.
Ah, you gain a mop.
I gain a mop, yes. I'm now disguised as the janitor. Perfect disguise.
Oh, so you've taken off the Diego's outfit and you're now a janitor.
Yes, I have left 2 naked men in a cupboard.
Okay, fair enough. As you do.
I love that there's no further explanation needed. Fair enough.
No, when you're breaking out of a maximum security prison, leaving 2 naked guards in a cupboard is perfectly normal. And if anyone walks in and finds that scene, they're just going to think that they were...
I've placed them in a very romantic situation. So if anyone walks in, that's exactly what they're going to think, that they were having a romantic moment and then they both fell asleep.
Yeah, they fell asleep post-coital.
In each other's arms.
Exactly.
With bruises on their necks.
Yeah. Love bites. There you go.
Exactly. It all adds up.
It all adds up. So you're now Dusty the janitor. And you've got the little name badge that proves it.
It says Dusty, yeah.
It says Dusty. So you're on...
I'm in Sector 9.
Sector 9 of 50 of this prison.
Yes.
As janitor, probably people don't really recognise the janitor or pay much attention to him.
Oh yes, and as a janitor, you're basically invisible. You're like a ninja. That's why so many ninjas apply to be janitors.
Exactly.
Again, a fact.
A fact for the gentle listener at home who have missed out on all these facts.
It's like a career in the arts or being an actor. Sometimes being a ninja just doesn't work out. It's not all you cracked up to be. You can't really make a living.
Second best thing.
Natural progression.
Yep.
Or progression even is to become a janitor.
Yes, and any aspiring ninjas out there who can't quite cut it, they know the next logical solution.
Don't give up. Don't have despair.
You can always be a janitor.
Yes, you can always be a janitor.
Yes. So now, as a janitor, you can pretty much go through almost all 50 levels of this prison to get to the very ground floor. So you have bypassed... I am
going through the hallways, going towards the entrance, but then I run into a snag. I've come to the main entrance with the security agents and the X-ray machines, and they're fingerprinting everyone, and they're smelling them, and they're licking them to see what they taste like. All the things that security guards do when they're checking your ID.
You need Rusty's fingerprint, really, to pass as him. But you don't have that. You only have your own fingerprints. Funnily enough.
Yes, you are doing an amazing job, Kyle, of summing up everything that happened. You've put your finger right on it. You really should wash your hands. Yes, I now need to figure out a way to get past this security, which would either require me to somehow have Rusty's fingerprints and saliva and smell, or I somehow get past them without them seeing. I've used up my penny.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was the alternative reality that didn't happen. In this reality, I don't have a penny, so there's no way to distract them.
May I just say that you have got very far. You have done very well very quickly. To get through to break out of your binds and to get down to the bottom floor of this prison.
Especially because I just realised in the major security room where there's all those guards, they're now one guard short. Even me disguising myself as that guard and just walking away, I've never returned to my post.
No. Well, now there's 2 guards missing.
When I realised this was a problem 1 second before the alarms started going off. The flashing red lights, the warning, prisoner escape, and did you leave a 1975 convertible parked on the yellow lines outside? If you did, come to main desk. They like to get all the tannoys out at the same time. Yeah. Lunch is served at 12:15 today due to early release of the chef. All these things, loads of announcements going on, and happy birthday to Margaret.
In accounting.
While it's going, danger, dangerous criminal loose. Happy birthday, Margaret, dangerous criminal loose. And here's to more.
So they know there's a prisoner loose now.
They do know there's a prisoner loose. They don't know it's me. I'm still disguised as Rusty the janitor.
Yes.
Dusty the janitor.
Yeah.
I'm still disguised as a janitor.
So basically, you can either sweet talk your way past these guards if you think you can, or you somehow go back, get Rusty's hand, or like chop off a finger maybe, take a little bit of saliva from his mouth. I mean, it would require you to go back up 9 floors. It
would require me to go back when there's all guards running around everywhere. I need to try and look as innocuous as possible.
You want to get out as soon as possible. Yeah.
I don't think going back to get his hand and his saliva and his scent is currently possible.
I mean, now you've made it to the ground floor. You want to get out as quickly as possible.
I know. Freedom is one hallway away. I can see the sun. I can see the sunlight glinting through the door.
Yeah. It's night time, so it'll be starlight, I guess.
Well, that is sunlight. Moonlight is the sun reflecting off the moon. That is another fact. That's actually a fact.
As are all of our facts.
Of course. So yes, it's when the sunlight is reflecting, because the moon is made of cheese, and cheese is very reflective. So sunlight is bouncing straight off of that giant cheese mound in the sky.
Exactly.
Wensleydale, of course.
As our good friend Gromit would say.
Yes, that'd be Wallace would say. Gromit doesn't say anything. You fool!
Who are you talking about? I'm talking about the guy who owns the cheese shop up the road. Gromit O'Neill.
I just realised I've never met a Gromit in my entire life.
No, I don't know if that is specifically a dog's name or...
Maybe. There's plenty of Wallaces. Wally, I guess.
Yeah.
And that could kind of be short for Wallace. But Gromit, no, never heard. Other than, of course, your friend, the Chippy.
Yeah.
Did you say Gromit O'Neill?
Gromit O'Neill.
It's an Irish name. Maybe that's why we haven't heard it that much. It's Irish.
Yeah, maybe. It's like, is Mittens a name for a human?
For a human?
Yeah.
I mean...
Or is that just specifically for cats?
Only if you hate your daughter.
Yeah.
Mittens!
Come on,
It's
Fluffy.
like calling your son Rex.
I mean, Rex is a boy's name.
Is it?
Yeah.
We're segueing away from my escape plan. This was another major problem that I had. I kept stopping and thinking about these things. It's been 5 hours since I knocked out that guard and swapped my clothes with him. I would have escaped by now if I hadn't stopped to consider what is a frog's favourite flavour of cheesecake. If I hadn't stopped to consider that for a couple of hours, I'd have been free by now.
But luckily, all the guards upstairs still think you're in the building. They don't know you're at reception, so they're just scouring the 50 floors. So luckily, you've got those 5 hours.
Yes, yeah, they're making their way down. They haven't come down to me yet. I'm on floor 1. I'm on ground floor even. And so floors 1 to 10 above me are unsearched as of yet.
Yes, so you still got some time.
I do, which gives me time to somehow get through a metal detector, a bunch of guards, and then through the door. Which, I mean, obviously I did because I'm here and I'm free.
Yeah.
And, as a matter of simplicity for a man of my intelligence.
Armed with only a mop, he got through.
I forgot I had a mop, the magnificent mop. That is it. I was mopping along, coming towards the metal detector. The security guard, Frank Chino, said to me, Frank Chino. I didn't want to go with another Mexican-Spanish name, so I went with a standard, another common name like Gromit.
Yeah, Frank Chino.
That's all one word. That's all one name. It's not Frank and then Chino. His name is Francino.
Francino.
Yes.
Okay.
Or Francino.
That's if you know him really well.
To me, yeah, he was named well. In fact, he said to me, "You're right, Rusty." I went, "Yeah, good. You? Yeah, I'm good."
And then he said, got you. Your name's Dusty, you bastard. You're not the real.
Fuck.
You're not the real
right.
Dusty.
Damn, Francino, such a smart man.
He is. He played mind games with you, so now he knows that you're not the real.
Out. They know that I'm not actually a janitor, so I have no choice but to throw the dirty water over his face.
Oh, terrible. And you can leave a trail behind you as you escape, so if they do come after you, they'll slip up, like a cartoon character.
Yes, well, yeah. I throw the bucket of water over his face, and it damages the metal detector, opens the gates.
Brilliant.
I run through,
Yep.
And yes, I have the mop behind me, so I'm mopping a trail behind me, and they all slip up as they run after me.
Brilliant. So,
for some reason, someone started playing Benny Hill music a couple of minutes ago.
Just blaring it out of the speakers. Someone broke into the warden's office and found Benny Hill music on an old vinyl and started playing it like Shawshank Redemption.
Ironically, at the same time I was having my massive prison escape, someone was breaking into the prison to play Benny Hill music.
Yeah.
This, I mean, we will never know why that person committed this crime.
They were just an avid fan of Benny Hill.
Or it might be a Bill and Ted type scenario where I'm going to have to go back in time to then go in and play the Benny Hill music as a distraction.
Oh, it was you all along.
From the future.
Wow, my mind is blown. So you've escaped the prison, but there's one thing you've forgotten, Nathan. The moat. Yeah. So you've got ahead of you. There is a drawbridge, but it's up at the moment, and you've got a lake full of water all around you, filled with crocodiles, alligators, piranhas, skeletons.
Oh yeah, God, I can't forget the skeletons.
Yeah, that reanimate as soon as you touch the water.
They reanimate as soon as I touch the water? I was wondering if they were swimming around or if they were rising from the water or something.
No, they're just piles of bones at the moment.
They're piles of bones. So I don't know that they're reanimated skeletons. I just think, that's just a lake filled of alligators and piranhas. I could probably get through that. Then I dip a toe in. I lose the toe because of the piranhas.
Yeah.
But also, 20 skeletons suddenly emerge and stand up in the water. This is a real conundrum.
I mean, no one said that breaking out of a maximum security prison was going to be easy. I mean, you did.
That is true.
You said, this will be a piece of cake.
Oh yeah, I've always said it would be easy. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying, when I'm caught for the massive crimes I've committed, No prison can hold me.
And we all thought that was really strange. We thought you were just joking, like, oh yeah, that's old.
No one can stop El Nafano. And yeah, this was years before you knew I was a criminal.
Yeah.
In fact, this was 5 minutes after we met Kyle at college. He was like, "Hey, I'm Kyle. How are you?" "I'm good." And then we've started talking about, I don't know, video games or something. And then 5 minutes later, no prison can hold me. No one can stop me. No one can stop El Nafano. As lightning struck in the background and I started laughing.
Yeah, I thought that was really strange, but the fact that you had called me the beautiful moon, that kind of put me at ease, and I thought, nah, he's not all bad.
I mean, wow, that is a greeting.
Yeah, that was.
I'm actually quite jealous of you having met me, because no one's ever met me and said you are a beautiful moon.
Exactly. I mean, I've tried to use that opener with most people that I meet since, but it hasn't gone down as well as yours did. Maybe it's all in the delivery.
I said it to you while having a rose in my teeth.
Yeah, which was kind of cool. It was like you were...
Again, very strange. A very strange thing to do in college. Walking around I had just a rose in my pocket, and the second I saw you, put it in my teeth and called you a beautiful moon.
Yeah, that's how I remember it anyway.
Isn't that how everyone makes friends at college?
Fact number 800, if you want to make friends, walk around with a rose in your teeth. The first person you meet, call them a beautiful moon, you'll be friends for life.
Exactly. I tried it again in uni, and it never quite worked. I may have got the word mixed up a bit. And the plant. I put in a stinging nettle in my mouth, and I called people a fragrant supernova.
Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it really doesn't. But we are getting way off track. I am now through the gate, so close to freedom I can taste it.
So close. Yeah.
But I'm now, between me and freedom is a moat filled with alligators, skeletons, piranhas, the Kraken, Martians, and the Pope in his submergible Pope-mobile.
Exactly. He's just there to have a little...
Oh, the Pope-mobile's like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It can turn into a boat, it can fly, it can fire lasers.
I like that you've made this much harder for yourself, but yeah, carry on.
Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to find solutions. But
yeah, you're just adding more obstacles.
I mean, I'm not making things harder for myself. These are the obstacles that were in my way, which makes it so much more impressive that I escaped. I'm really feeling proud of myself for my escape.
Armed with only a mop.
I'm about to explain my escape right now. If you just let me talk, I would explain how I escaped this inescapable prison.
Yes.
So what happened was, a bird flew onto my hand.
Yeah.
I whispered in its ear. It flew away, and then the eagles came and rescued me.
The eagles?
Yes.
Your natural ally, the eagles.
Of course.
You formed that alliance maybe 15 years ago for this very scenario.
Exactly, and that's why I told you no prison can hold me, because I always knew that I had the eagles. They were I'd already formed that alliance, an alliance of mutual beneficence. Benefits of mutual Bens. They like Bens. I told them my name was Ben. And they like Bens. That's the entire explanation. That's all you're gonna get. If you think I'm gonna explain how I befriended eagles, nope. I told them my name was Ben.
You're not gonna tell everyone your tragic backstory of when you were 8 years old, wandering through a forest, and you found a baby eagle lying out of its nest, and you helped it up. You were a much nicer person in these days. You didn't care about killing animals.
This was before.
This is pre-puppy murder days.
Yeah, this was before the coconut fell on my head and I switched to evil. Because
mode.
Exactly. Against science. Anyone that's ever done anything evil must have had a coconut fall on their head. That's just science.
Exactly. And you took up this tiny baby eagle, and he looked up at you with these massive eyes, and he said, "Thank you, sir, for rescuing me."
And then I went, "You're a talking eagle!"
But after you'd calmed down, you came back and picked him up again. Yeah, you had run off into the forest, dropped him to the ground.
Breaking his wings again.
Yeah.
Even more.
But you came back, and you picked him up again. Said, "Thank you, sir, for saving me a second time and not running away this time. I am in your debt for the rest of my life. If you should ever need to break out of, I don't know, say a maximum security prison.
No, the eagle said to me, "Thank you, kind child. If you ever need my help, no matter what it is, I shall help you." I was like, "Oh, well, you don't need to help me. I just helped you because it's the right thing to do." And then a coconut fell on my head, and I was like, "You fucking owe me one, mate. You'd better deliver. When I need you to get out of prison, I expect you to answer the call." And then I threw the eagle into the air, and it flew away.
Even with broken wings, it flew away.
I
thought you helped it back into its nest.
I had. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. I duct taped the wings back together again.
Ah, yes. So this now fully grown adult eagle, still with duct tape on
duct tape, yeah, little strands of duct tape.
Little strands of duct tape.
His wings have grown around them, so they're tiny little strands now.
Yeah, but he is buffed. He is strong. He is.
Oh, he is. But he's been going to the gym, mate. He's really been working out.
Yeah. He's like the size of an elephant. He is absolutely huge. He just lands down, like his wingspan just knocks the skeletons to pieces. They just crumble.
Oh yeah, they fall apart. Yeah, exactly.
The Pope is thrown, into the Pope is thrown to the Vatican.
In his little bubble, he bounces a few times.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's fine. I didn't check, but I'm sure.
And
I'm pretty sure if I murdered the Pope, I'd have a very long prison sentence.
I mean, you already had life.
That may be an executionable crime. I don't know. This is another fact for listeners. More of advice. Probably shouldn't kill the Pope.
Probably shouldn't.
No, I believe this from the bottom of my heart. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. So the William.
I feel we really changed some lives there, Kyle. I think there were some people at home on the fence about killing the Pope. We've changed their minds. Someone was just at home going, "No, I'm not sure what to do this evening. I'm a bit bored." I know.
I might just go out and kill a Pope. Yeah.
Yeah, not just a Pope.
A Pope, yeah. And
but now that person knows better.
Yeah. Well, their friend who's been listening to this podcast turned to them and said, did you not hear? These two guys, Kyle and Nathan, they just said that killing the Pope is not a good thing to do. And they were, really?
And as we all know in this country, they are the most venerable, intelligent people. We go to them for our wisdom and our knowledge.
Yeah.
We are shaping this country.
We really are. And making it a better place, one podcast at a time. So your amazing eagle friend, William, flies down from the sky, lands before you, destroys all of these obstacles in your way. You climb...
It's a magnificent scene. Beautiful, amazing, epic, cinematic scene. And he looks at me and he says the magic words, the words I will never forget. "All right, mate? Sup?"
You're like, "Yeah, I'm calling in that favour." And he nods. It's like, "Yep."
And I do that thing where I brush my hand over my nose. "I'm good, man. I'm good."
Cool. Hop on. So you hop onto his back and he starts to take off, his wings beating incredibly fast, making the water...
The wingspan is amazing. It's brushing up. The skeletons have just started to reform, but now they're brushed apart again.
Yeah, they're destroyed again. The water from the moat just rises up in this beautiful cascade of blue. And
I mean, that's actually kind of worrying, because with the water rising up means all the piranhas are rising up into the sky as well. There's now 100 piranhas in the air flying towards us.
It's sort of like that level in Rayman where you've got to go through the waterfall and avoid the falling piranhas.
Exactly. But thankfully I still have my mop and I deflect them away with the mop.
It's definitely like a video game. You're flying on the back of this eagle, whacking at piranhas out of the air with a giant mop. That's amazing. Beautiful scene.
It is amazing, but it's what happens.
It is amazing, but it's true.
Exactly.
All of the guards rush out of the prison. They're looking up at you. They aim their guns at you. You've got a mop. You don't care about bullets.
Exactly. I'm deflecting bullets with a mop.
Exactly. You bat the bullets out of the air.
Mop water towards them, knocking and it flinging it so hard it knocks them out.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're taking down the guards with their own bullets. it's like some sort of magic voodoo. You're just spinning the
Well, again,
mop.
it's ninja skills. You
Yeah.
know, as everyone knows, every janitor was a ninja once.
Exactly.
And even though I wasn't, although that doesn't actually make sense because I was never a janitor or a ninja because I'm just disguised as one. But I stole his knowledge.
By wearing the sacred janitor uniform,
You're
you gain
right.
his memories and knowledge. So you basically have the knowledge of this
It's
80-year-old guy in your brain.
It's like if you stole Iron Man's armor.
Exactly.
If you steal a
No
janitor's
difference.
clothes, you gain his skills.
Exactly. And that's
As
the
we
same.
all know, all janitors have amazing ninja skills.
Yeah, and that's the same with most professions, isn't it? You know, you steal the uniform, you gain their abilities. Everyone knows that abilities come from clothes.
Yes.
If you've played any video game, you know that you put on a different armor and it has different effects. Magic.
Exactly, yes.
So you fly off.
And if you're a woman, all you need to wear armor is just a metal bra.
Exactly. So you fly off on the back of William, hitting all these piranhas and bullets with your mop until you're at a safe distance, and he lands down in the forest. You climb off, and he said that classic goodbye line to you. There you go, mate.
Well, there you are.
There you are, mate. We even. We cool.
Fancy a beer?
He's like, we cool. He holds out his wing and you pound it.
We cool. Yeah. And yeah, I give him a fist bump.
And then, yeah, you go down to the local, have a pint, and then he flies off. And then you have done it, Nathan.
We did have to rip the roof off of the local because the door wasn't big enough for the giant eagle to break through.
Yeah, and now the guy who owns that pub is sleeping under the stars, I guess, because his bedroom is above the pub.
Yeah, I have ruined his life. He and his family and his 2 children are now homeless.
Well, they're not homeless. They've still got the pub. It's just very cold, and...
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, Kyle. Fuck him for complaining. What is he complaining about?
He hasn't just had to evade an entire maximum security prison full of guards and piranhas and skeletons.
Oh yeah, because we have a pint, William flies me off to a safe distance away, and then afterwards all the guards come into that pub and interrogate the pub owner and all the patrons about what happened.
I mean, you have escaped, that's fair enough, but the problem is you're still a wanted felon, so...
Yes, I am currently formulating a plan.
Aha.
A plan as brilliant as my previous plan. A plan that's completely sensical and intelligent and well thought out as my escape plan. And indeed, everything I've planned in my life. Indeed, what I planned, what events aspired to that led me to being arrested and put on a 60 life sentences with no choice of parole.
So yeah, that's if anyone else ever finds themselves in the same position Nathan found himself in, where you've destroyed a bunch of orphans whilst riding the back of Cornelius Whiskers, the talking rabbit in a waistcoat.
Exactly, something we can all do. Everyone can relate to. Who hasn't heard that story?
There's the old classic. So yeah, if you find yourself in a maximum security prison after doing something like that, you know the perfect way to escape
is use your acting skills. So you should train acting. You should train in theatre acting, and it has to be proper professional acting. It can't be like Hollyoaks acting. You can't have a Geordie accent. It has to be proper Shakespearean. It has to be, alas, my throat, I feel it clogging. The winds of air doth release from me.
You need to describe everything that's happening to you. My throat, it is tightening. It is contracting. I can feel myself beginning to choke. I fear that very soon I may choke itself.
Forsooth, my life is coming to an end.
Oh, woe is me. I fear that I am not long for this poor, poor world.
Please, oh, generous sir, would you lend me a hand?
If not, then I pray to the gods that I may be accepted into heaven for my awful, awful sins.
Exactly.
And so forth.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have said "and so forth" at the end of that sentence. It made it seem like I was acting, and etc.
Etc., etc.
I'm choking, please help me, and etc., etc.
Yeah, but it still works. And also, people need to know that they need to make an alliance with an eagle as early on as possible.
Yes, I mean that was some real luck.
That was very fortuitous.
This was before I was evil, remember? So this was before I was making these plans.
Yeah.
I was, a perfectly innocent, sweet, happy child. I'd already helped up a couple of pigeons and a squirrel. I'd bandaged a squirrel's leg that morning.
Yeah.
And then I saw the eagle, helped him, then got hit on a coconut and turned evil.
Exactly.
And from then onwards, I've always been ready.
You've been prepared and ready.
So that was my week, Kyle. How was yours?
Oh, I watched a bit of TV, played some video games, went to work.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if anyone disagrees with anything we said today, then please let us know in the comments.
I don't know how they could disagree with what we said because we were just recapping what happened to me.
Exactly.
I was just explaining how I escaped.
But if you do disagree, let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this episode, then please follow and subscribe to the podcast on Patreon. We have new episodes up every 2 weeks, and it will help us out a lot if you do. And you can follow me on Twitter at Kyle M. Bennett. That's Kyle_M_Bennett, 2 N's, 2 T's.
And you can follow me at N Wozniak. That's NWOZNIAK Art. N Wozniak Art.
And that was our Prison Break episode.
I mean, that was my prison break. I've heard you had a little bit of spot of bother with the prison as well.
Yeah, I was sent to a woman's prison for...
Naturally.
Yeah, for hitting a hitchhiker.
Again, naturally, it's what you do.
Yeah. I ended up in prison.
I don't even own a car, and I'm hitting hitchhikers all the time. I walk to the motorway specifically to hit them with a stick.
Yeah, I mean, now that you've killed all the orphans in the world, you've turned your attention onto hitchhikers.
I know, yeah. It's going to take a while for new orphans to be born.
Yeah, exactly.
And be orphaned. Their parents need to die first, so it's going to take a while.
So you're going to have to kill the parents to make people orphans, I guess.
I mean, now I'm the villain from Batman. I'm now the man that created Batman.
See, it's all for a purpose. You're doing it so that you can create superheroes.
Right. This was exactly the reason why. This is my defense.
You're trying to create...
For some reason, didn't work. I still got sent to jail.
Yeah.
But sorry, Kyle. You were saying you went to a woman's prison.
So I ended up in a woman's prison. I got together with the top bitch there, and she helped me escape.
How did you break out of prison?
They just left the door open one day. We were out in the courtyard, and the guards had just left the... we were planning this elaborate prison break, but...
With a hot air balloon and a tunnel and disguises. You were going to disguise yourself as a bear.
Yeah, we had this whole thing planned out. There was like ninja stars involved and
jugglers.
Yeah, we had built this entire contraption, like a washing
Catapult.
line. Yeah, there was a catapult involved. So many parts, and we just had to leave it all behind because we were in the courtyard. One of the guards left the gate open and walked off to have a sandwich, and we saw that it was open and just ran.
What kind of sandwich? I need to know.
Tuna mayo.
That's not worth it, man.
No.
That's not worth it.
Well, no. I mean, he's got fired now, that guy, unfortunately.
I know, but if it was a ham sandwich with some lettuce and onions, then it would have been worth being fired for. And some mayo.
He had the mayo, I guess.
Oh yeah, he did have the mayo.
So anyway, we end up.
we were both just listfully looking at into the air like mayo.
So we both ended up in this cabin, and I thought, everything's been solved. I'm safe. But
of course.
Unfortunately...
Who doesn't feel safe when they've escaped with a random prisoner they just met and who was the top bitch of the prison yard? Which means she was the toughest, baddest of them all. Yeah. She's this big, muscular woman covered in tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, she was the wife of the hitchhiker I killed.
What are the chances?
I know. And she had a knife as well that she had smuggled out with her. and she stabbed me, and I laid bleed.
Yeah, actually smuggled it. She'd like one of those circus performers. She pulled the knife out of her mouth.
Yeah, that's
inside her stomach.
That's how
she had to regurgitate it back out again.
That's how she presented it to me. She said, "Oh, and I've got something to tell you too." Like shoved her entire fist down her throat.
Several minutes. Yeah, you were just standing there patiently going, "I wonder what she's got to tell me." As she put her hand down her mouth and started going.
It's quite normal in prison to, if someone's got a present for you, they'll either have it concealed down their throat or up themselves somewhere. So I was quite
delicately put, Kyle.
Yeah, I was quite used to it, and I just thought, oh, maybe she's got me a
box of chocolates,
an iPad, I don't know, a fancy pen with my name engraved on it. But no, it was a knife, and she stabbed me in the gut, and I lay bleeding out.
Did the knife have your name engraved on it?
It did. She had carved my name into it. Like a bullet.
Least that takes the sting away a little bit, doesn't it? Knowing that she put in that extra bit of effort.
Yeah, she really wanted me stabbed.
And she carved it in with proper, well-written calligraphy.
Oh,
There's,
yeah.
The files with multiple curves and a Y with loads of unnecessary circles inside of it.
Exactly. Only the finest for me.
It was beautiful.
So she stabbed me and ran off. But fortunately, I survived. I was found by a local woodsman, taken to the nearest hospital. And because the prison officers had put a call out for an escaped female prisoner, or two female prisoners, I've basically got off scot-free. And unless those...
We have both escaped, and no one will ever find us. And unless we somehow are stupid enough to record our confessions and say to the world where we are, or put them out via the internet so people can track us through the internet, then there's no way anyone could ever possibly find us.
Yeah, so I hope everyone's enjoyed this very special episode of If You Had To, though, that we'll be posting absolutely everywhere we can.
Yes, and advertising and promoting, and as I walk to work, I'll just be telling people, "Hey, you want to listen to a podcast?" As I walk past them on the way to work, I walk past the local police station. I'll pop in and have a talk with.
Yeah, and I'm going to burn this episode to as many CDs as possible, and just give them out everywhere I go, all around town.
You'll probably be flinging them out of your car. You'll be driving past a hitchhiker and decapitate him with a CD.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do with our next week or so. Any final words, Nathan?
It is good to be free. It's good to be back, to be here where no one can possibly find me in Basingstoke. I mean, somewhere in the world that no one can ever know about. I didn't say anything. Shut up. As my friend William once said, "Cowabunga, man."
As your friend William once said. You're right, mate.
Yeah. In the wise words of a dear friend, hey.
This has been If You Had To, though. I've been Kyle.
And I've been El Nafano.